The Book of Job stands as a pillar within the Old Testament's wisdom literature alongside Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, yet it diverges from its counterparts, offering a distinct exploration of faith and suffering. Proverbs presents a straightforward formula. Righteousness begets blessing, while wickedness leads to suffering. Ecclesiastes, tinged with a melancholic realism, observes the often random nature of life, where the righteous and wicked may share similar fates. Job, however, delves into the perplexing question: why do the righteous suffer when there is no apparent cause? This question, timeless and universal, forms the crux of Job's narrative. Unlike the didactic approach of Proverbs or the philosophical musings of Ecclesiastes, Job grapples with raw anguish and existential doubt. He embodies the human struggle to reconcile faith with inexplicable pain. The book does not offer easy answers or trite explanations. Instead, it invites us into the wrestling match of a soul seeking truth amidst profound suffering. The book opens with a glimpse into the heavenly court. Angelic beings assemble before God, and among them stands the Satan, the accuser. This figure, unlike the later personification of evil, acts as a prosecutor within God's court. The Satan questions Job's renowned piety, insinuating that it stems solely from the abundant blessings bestowed upon him. He suggests that Job's faith is conditional, dependent on comfort and prosperity. God, permitting a test of Job's faith, grants the Satan permission to strip away Job's wealth, family, and health. The caveat: Job's life must be spared. Thus, the stage is set for an excruciating exploration of human resilience in the face of unimaginable loss. The wager between God and the Satan, while unsettling to modern readers, highlights the ancient understanding of spiritual forces at work in the world. It raises questions about the nature of suffering, free will, and the limits of human understanding. Job's response to his sudden and devastating losses is one of initial shock and disbelief. He rends his clothes, shaves his head in mourning, and falls to the ground in worship. "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." This initial display of piety is remarkable, yet, as the full weight of his suffering sinks in, Job's lamentations become infused with anguish and doubt. He curses the day of his birth, longing for death as a release from his torment. He questions God's justice, unable to reconcile his suffering with his understanding of a righteous God. Job's pain is palpable, his words raw and honest. He embodies the rawness of human grief, challenging the notion that faith requires stoic acceptance of suffering. Job's wrestling with God, far from being blasphemous, reflects a deep-seated desire for understanding and justice. Into Job's suffering enter his friends Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. They arrive with the intention of comforting him, yet their words become a source of further anguish for Job. They represent a prevailing worldview of their time retributive justice. This belief system posits that suffering is always a direct consequence of sin, and prosperity a sign of God's favor. Job's friends, unable to fathom any other explanation for his suffering, conclude that he must have committed some grave sin to warrant such divine retribution. They engage in lengthy dialogues with Job, each presenting their arguments with increasing certainty. They urge him to confess his hidden sin and seek God's forgiveness. However, their words ring hollow to Job, for he knows in his heart that he has not strayed from God's path. He vehemently defends his innocence, further intensifying his frustration and isolation. The friends' insistence on retributive justice, while meant to offer comfort, only deepens Job's pain, highlighting the limitations of human understanding in the face of profound suffering.